Morning.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing all right.
Thank you. This is always a quick change for 8th graders on Wednesdays because they have Mr. Clutie right before this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll have to think about spacing that one out.
And he's holding a few of them hostage a little bit, so you might have a few minutes late.
I was thinking of doing that too to these guys, but I have freshmen right after this. So
Yeah, there's a few of them Carson's holding.
Put your glasses on. If you need help, you can go ask your brother. Morning, Nebia. Morning, Sam. Morning, Kason. Morning, Hayden. Morning, Danny. I am saying morning still because it's still a minute before noon. I have any problems. Morning, Eli. Morning, Trey. Corbin, how are we doing today? Morning, Caden. Okay, we're going to go right to the Ed puzzle and review some of the questions there. Let's see. So if you want to navigate to Ed puzzle, we're going to look at that moon phases and just go over some of the questions. Is Evan around today? Morning, Landon. Morning, Grant. Morning, Taylor. Okay, not morning anymore, sorry. Good noon time. Okay, so Ed puzzle, we're going to look at some of your responses, talk about some things there. I just wanted to wait a second for Evan to join us. All right, we will just go ahead and hopefully he'll join us. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, the first question was, why does the moon look bright? 2 details from the video that supports your answer. Now, it says 2, so we want 2. Who can volunteer? What are some good answers for why does the moon look bright? Just raise your hand. So you're all muted. Okay, I see Corbin. Okay, Corbin, 2 reasons why does the moon look bright?
I put this the sun shines down on it and illuminates the light,
Okay.
and it sits in sunlight all day.
Yeah, it sits in sunlight all day. It's able to reflect the light. Some of you put that it's a pretty big object in comparison. And it's also fairly close to the Earth. So any of those would be good answers for that. Okay, second question was, what do we call the part of the moon facing the sun? Raise your hand. Oh, come on, the part facing the sun. All right, well, you were eating, so that counts. All right, Landon. What do you call the part of the moon facing the sun?
Rather than facing the sun.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking through my answers. I know the dark side, but I think I skipped the.
Oh, yeah, the dark side's the other side. So you answered that question. That's the side facing away. It's either called the night side or the dark side. What about the part facing the sun? Evan, we're going over the Ed puzzle, so hopefully you had a chance to get that done. We're going to go over the answers. Who knows the part of the side of the moon facing the sun? What do we call it? Starts with a B. All right, Sam, thank you. You're on.
I forgot it.
What?
I forgot.
Like just how you forgot it? You must be about the same age as I am. I do that all the time. All right, somebody else. Oh, there's Corbin. Oh, all right, Corbin.
Daylight or bright side?
Yes, the daylight or the bright side. Ethan, we're going over the Ed puzzle questions, okay? Okay, third question we already had answered, the part of the moon that's facing away. All right, and then the multiple choice ones are actually displayed here. So why do we see different phases of the moon? Well, it depends on the direction the sunlight moon is hitting us. Or, sorry, it depends on the direction the sunlight's hitting the moon. At new moon, the moon is far from the sun and rises at sunset, which is false.
Where do we find that answer?
What is the name of the day or night line? Called the terminator line. All right, waxing. Who remembers what waxing means? Caden remembers. You're on, Caden.
To grow or to get bigger?
Yes, waxing means to grow or to get bigger. So we could have a waxing gibbous moon, and it would be approaching full moon. We could have a waxing crescent moon, and it would be approaching like the first quarter. Right? Okay, next question is, whoa, try to hit the back button, trying to get there. Okay, gibbous. Right, somebody other than Caden, raise your hand. All right, Nebia, we haven't heard from you. So what does gibbous mean?
Swollen or convex?
Yeah, right, swollen or convex, right? So anytime we see a gibbous moon, it's more than the first quarter or the last quarter. Okay, waning. Sam's got that one.
Shrinking or getting smaller.
Yeah, so we could have a waning gibbous moon. It would be past the full moon phase, so the gibbous moon's getting smaller. Or we would have a waning crescent moon, which would mean that we're almost going to be at the new moon phase. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop share here real quick. All right. If you would navigate yourself to Amplify, we're just going to look at 1.4 still, the modeling on Amplify. There was a couple of you that either didn't submit it or didn't push the button to turn it in, but let's go over it and you can double check to make sure you have it turned in. So 1.4 Amplify. And I will share my screen with you. And the modeling tool, the third one, is what we want to look at. All right, I'm sharing. Okay, so modeling light and dark. Make sure that when we do this that you upload the image and you send it in, but it's on that simulation. And this is the same one we revisited yesterday. All right, so we're on this simulation. This is where you have to click the pencil and then move the object onto there. And that's what we talked about yesterday, is that half of the moon's going to be lit, half of the Earth's going to be lit. Make sure you have that image uploaded. And then, why is there a border between light and dark on the moon? We've named it several times. So first of all, what's the name of that border? Volunteers? Ethan.
The Terminator.
Correct. Nice job. All right, and then the second part of that question was, why is there a border? Right? Sam's got it again. Sam?
Because the sun doesn't light up all of the moon, only
Correct.
half of it.
Right. Like we saw in the last amplified lesson, the one about light waves, again, light can't bend. Light can only travel in straight lines. So there's no way that it could actually go around and light up the entire moon. All right, let's move on to 1.4, taking pictures. Again, there's a couple of you that didn't get that submitted, so let's just double check it. And we're still talking about the same claim that we were talking about last time. Hey, claim one, why can Eric Wu take pictures of the can he take pictures of 3 moon phases? Claim 1 can be taken any night. Claim 2, only on some nights. And then all you had to do there was basically pick one of those 2 claims. So that's like a 10-second exercise. All right. And what do we think right now? All right. 1 or 2, you can just hold up your finger. 2? 2? Anybody going for 1? I don't see many 1s. I would have to agree with you. I think they could only be taken in some nights, right? Because of what we know about phases already of the moon. We're going to have some moon phases that those parts of the moon that he wants to photograph would not be visible. Hey, last thing on 1.4 is the homework tab. And again, there were a couple of you that didn't get that homework tab done. So we talked about this homework tab yesterday. We noticed that those 2 images are very similar, right? But it's just opposite sides. So one would be approaching the new moon phase and one would be after the new moon phase. And then just the reason. Why do you think the moon looks different in these 2 images? How about choice 1? Because light from the sun is traveling from the left in image 1 and traveling from the right in image 2. You agree? Yes? Okay. All right. Okay, last thing on the Amplify right now is that self-assessment. And I know it says optional. We've talked about it many times. It's not optional. Okay? 1.5 is your self-assessment. Again, I think there was 3 of you that don't have that in. And it's just basically, do you understand where the moon gets its light? All you have to do is click yes or not yet. And then just explain why you answered that way. Okay? And I understand why we see different phases of the moon, yes or not yet, and explain your answer choice. And I understand what causes the pattern of the moon phases, yes or not yet. Okay. Next question, I understand what happens during a lunar eclipse. I understand why lunar eclipses happen. And then the final question on that is, what do you still wonder about what determines the moon's appearance from the Earth? Now, it's perfectly fine at this point if you don't know or don't understand about eclipses, right? We haven't talked too much about eclipses. We'll talk about them later on in this unit. All right. Let's go to the scientist. Go to QIA. Can you look at your results on your QIA quiz? I will stop sharing, let you have more room to get there. All right. Let me reshare my screen here. Okay, so right now you can either be on the actual quiz. There was, I think, 4 or 5 of you that haven't taken it yet, right? There's a practice quiz there. All right, so on that, let me talk a little bit about these scientists. All right, so there's 25, I think, listed right now, or no, there's not that many. 26, maybe? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, no, 16, sorry. Right. So Aldo Leopold, Wilderness Preservation, Carl Sagan, Solar System, Linnaeus, Binomial Nomenclature. If you haven't had a time to practice and take that quiz, then make sure you do that. And probably starting next week, we'll maybe add like 4 or 5 of those scientists. Maybe go a little bit more recent on some recent discoveries. Okay. All right. Let's go to your Google Classroom, please. I will stop share here. Okay, on Google Classroom, I thought I better lead you through this. you should see a link to something called Explore Learning. And it should be on your linked, like links to resources. Let me share my screen, make sure you guys can find it okay. On my page, I'm not sure if this order is the same, but it's right underneath the Quizlet link is linked to Explore Learning. And it's going to bring you to a page that you're going to see as a class code. So let me get to the class code page. Well, let me, that will not be the page you see because you'll see. Let me log out. Hey, if you scroll on that page, you should see a student class enrollment. Right, and the enrollment key was on your Google Classroom. Let me put it up here again. That's the enrollment key, and those are all capital letters. So 2TK8JR. And once you do that, you actually have to create your own username. Make sure your username is something that I would be able to recognize. And your email address, use your school email address. Like, get my attention if you're having any difficulties. Grant, you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Evan?
I can't find where you put the code in now.
Okay, so when you first got to that page,
Yeah.
do you see something called a part there that says student class enrollment?
Well, I must already be in a class because it says I'm already signed in somehow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, but maybe if I go here and hit enroll in a class.
Yeah,
Okay.
try that. Enroll in a class and then try to.
Okay, what's the code?
I covered it up, didn't I? Sorry. It's right there. Okay, any other questions on getting in there? Okay, once you're into a class, you should see an activity on moonset and moonrise and phases. I'm going to stop share. Okay, on that activity, and we're going to go through that activity starting next week, but there's a simulation that you can play with on that moonrise and moon phases. If you want to, start, fiddling around with that, that's perfectly okay, but I just wanted to make sure you got registered. Okay, this week our goal is to get, we're done with 1.4. It looked like everyone was pretty much successful with that. You should be starting on Amplify 2.1. And as you go through, if, make sure that you reach out and, talk to me about any difficulties. Okay? So we'll start Amplify 2.1. Any articles you run into, always just 5 annotations. I have a class coming up in about 7-8 minutes, but I'm going to stay around. If you guys have any questions or any of you have a question in particular or you're having a difficulty. So if you're okay and you're, don't have any problems, then you're free to go. But if you want to stick around, right, hit me up with some questions, just raise your hand. I'll unmute you guys. Okay, you should be unmuted. So if you have a question, just
Hey,
Yeah.
Mr. Woods, you said Mr. Class is due April 8th, right?
April 8th.
Okay.
Now, are you still working in your group, Taylor, or are you by yourself?
I'm just with Ethan because we tried to
Oh.
get Kason and everything, and he wouldn't answer us.
Okay.
So,
how's mystery class going?
good.
Getting it narrowed down?
Yeah. I worked on it yesterday a little bit.
Good. How's everyone else doing? You're good, Caden?
I have a question about the email. So we're supposed to send you what pictures? Like the graph and the...
Okay, for the mystery class?
Yeah.
Okay, so send me a picture of the completed graph and the data sheets on the photo period. And then you can just email me what you guys think your 3 cities are. Now, I know originally that the mystery class, we do second semester project to get out of the semester final. I sincerely doubt you guys are going to have a semester final. I guess that's up to our administrators. It would be nice.
See you, Miss Richard.
Bye, Taylor. Reach out if you have a problem. Hayden, you guys doing okay? No, must be.
You said we're supposed to do 2.1 as our homework?
Start 2.1, and next time we meet, we'll talk about it. Yeah.
Oh,
You're good?
yeah, I'm good.
All right.
When
Hayden?
do you think that we'd be able to Zoom with Melinda and Edward?
I sent Melinda an email about, you're talking robotics?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we can set up, that's probably a better way to meet than trying to come to the school right now. So
Yeah.
we don't need to clean up the robotics room right now anyway.
Yeah, not yet.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, Corbin.
Hi,
Bye.
Caden.
Corbin, problems? Corbin? Okay. Guess they're all leaving.
Awesome. Thanks, Gary, for staying on to answer questions.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to talk to maybe Jan about getting some space, because I run into that between, like, every time after an 8th grade class, there's always another class. It's either biology one day or it's physical science the next. So spread them
Well,
out.
and I think our junior high kids, they probably need that extra, 5 or 10 minutes or whatever with you to just ask questions. That's the class we're getting probably the majority of feedback from. And I get it. Like, they're the ones we knew would struggle the most.
When I
So-
tried to slow down with them and, like, our assignments from last week, look over who doesn't have them done and then just go over them on our meetings. But
Okay.
'cause-
The other thing we're hearing, and I don't know how to address this, but I think, and you kind of shared this with me as a parent, like, kids are feeling inundated at certain times when, like, the emails come and then in their inbox, it's like email.
yeah.
And I don't know why that's, like, it's when you post something in Google Classroom, right?
Yeah, it goes out to everybody. Yeah. All the notifications.
Yeah.
I don't know
And
if
so-
it's a setting that,
We want them to keep the notification on, because if they
Yeah.
don't, then they're not going to know you sent something. But how do we try to, I don't know, like, keep
spread it
those
out so it's not always at one time. Yeah.
yeah,
I
or
know.
is there a way you can, like, just do one notification that has everything in it versus, if you do 5 different activities, then 5 different emails?
Yeah, I don't think that would be, because they're all like different things. Like either it's a lab
Right.
or it's a worksheet or it's just a link. I don't
Yeah.
know a good solution to that.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to brainstorm, is what would be a good solution to try to figure that out. So keep thinking about that. We'll keep thinking about it on our end, but that's some of the feedback we're getting. So
Yeah,
Which-
either that or I guess we can just spread out the notifications so it's not like,
yeah, or if like every teacher wasn't sending the notifications first thing Monday,
Right.
if we tried to spread that out somehow. So it's just kind of an organizational thing on our part right now.
Okay.
So we'll keep brainstorming on that, Gary, okay?
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Good
Good to
day.
see you. All right, bye.
Bye-bye. Look out.